A California mom is in hot water this morning after a viral video shows her baby falling out of a moving car. Take a look at this. Dash cam video caught the moment where a 19-month-old baby falls from the front seat of that black SUV. Officials say the incident happened on the morning of January 20th, and there were no initial calls made for any police response. But then days later, a witness came forward with more information on that vehicle. On Monday, police released this statement identifying 35-year-old Jacqueline Hernandez as the driver, as well as the child's mother. Hernandez was arrested for felony child abuse, but later released after posting bond. Prosecutors are considering whether to charge her right now. What should they do? And let's back up for a second. Why was that baby unsecured in the front seat? There's a lot to talk about here. Let me bring in my guest. Still with me, Attorney John Phillips. Want to welcome in retired Chief Judge Belvin Perry. Good morning to you both. Judge, I'll start with you. What did you think when you saw this?
Julie, the first thought that went through my mind, it was a miracle that that child was not killed or severely injured. And a lot of questions popped up in my mind as a result of that. Was the child in the car seat? Why did the door open? So there are numerous questions to be answered by this investigation.
Definitely, Judge. John, your reaction, your thoughts as soon as you saw that video?
Shock, you know, again, as a parent of a 13, 11, and 8-year-old, I've done a lot of that. A lot of kids in restraints, and this cannot happen if you do it even remotely properly. And so, you know, under California law, there's no exception. Kids under 2 have to be securely locked down, and then you step it up from there. And this is a level of child abuse. This is a level of child neglect. Like, every authority needs to take a look at this.
Yes, we've got the law right here. We'll put it up on the screen. In California, felony child abuse involves actions causing a traumatic physical condition going beyond reasonable discipline. Penalties can be anywhere from 2 to 6 years in state prison. Additional enhancements if somebody's got priors within the last 10 years. Judge Perry, do you think this constitutes felony child abuse?
Well, what the state of California would have to prove is, one, that she willfully permitted a child to be endangered under circumstances likely to produce great bodily harm. Looking at the limited information that we have now, one could tend to think, by placing that child in the seat, probably not only not securing her in the seat, and the question is, why did that door open? She probably didn't even lock the door properly. So chances are, based upon additional evidence, that she may be charged with child abuse.
Right, Judge. You know, the charge I kept thinking of as soon as I saw this, and I didn't know what they arrested her on, first thought, I thought endangering the welfare of a child. Right there. I thought that, you know, in many jurisdictions, you know, it might be a lower grading than felony child abuse, depending upon where you are, because as the judge said, if you don't have the willful conduct, as he explained, you know, perhaps just the conduct that is so negligent. Like, let's say, John Phillips, that baby was unbuckled in the front seat and the baby just reached and the car door's unlocked. I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know how it happened, but maybe. Do you think that would be proper for an endangering charge?
Criminal culpable neglect is how we charge it in almost all of the states I practice in. And you got to think of the hot car deaths, right? And those hot car death cases are a lot more vague and have a lot more, you know, subjectivity than this. This is a too small child who clearly opened the door. I was trying to see the make and model of the car, because that should have had automatic locks that a kid couldn't unlock, but this is all sorts of problems.
Definitely, and I'm sure this is going to infuriate both of you. According to Yahoo News, this child was said by authorities to have sustained injuries consistent with that fall and had to be hospitalized. They say that they expect the baby to make a full recovery, but still the fact that this child was injured. Judge, what do you say to that?
Well, it is due totally to her gross conduct in this particular case. But for the luck, she could have ran over the child. But for fate, the second vehicle could have ran over this child. And after that, let's just think if the child had fell head first directly into the concrete, we could have had a totally different result. So as this case moves along, we're going to see what other evidence that they uncover that may lead to a more serious form of this charge.
Definitely, Judge. John Phillips, would you do me a favor? Look at it from this mother's perspective. What should she be doing right now?
Standing firmly behind the Fifth Amendment and trying to find a glitch in the car that the door did not shut and the force of the turn propelled the door open. But again, you wouldn't have this happen if the child was at a safety seat. So, no matter how many things she attacks, she's still culpably neglect from civil and criminal. Now, there's nobody to sue her, but from all perspectives with DCF, whatever the equivalent of that is in California, it's just she's got a lot of investigation coming her way.
Yeah, most definitely. This is just, the more you watch it, the more you realize this really was a miracle. Like you said, Judge, this was just by the grace of God or fate or luck or, something that this baby wasn't killed. It takes your breath away when you look at that video. Thank God the child is okay. And as we get ready to see what happens, I'll take predictions as my last question to you both before we go. Judge Perry, do you predict she'll be charged?
I think she will be charged if they come up with some rationale as to one, whether she was in the car seat or not in the car seat, and two, what caused that door to open. Once they answer those questions, she's going to be charged with something.
Appreciate it, Judge. John Phillips, quickly, will she be charged?
She will. California's been aggressive on the hot car death cases, and I think this is easier to prove than that.
Excellent analysis from you both. As always, Judge Belvin Perry, Attorney John Phillips, thank you both so much for being on Opening Statement.